Hi. Hello there. Hello, it's me, Scott. Hope everyone's safe and well and taking care of themselves and is drinking water and is practicing good social distancing and all of those things. We're going to do another MIDI stream. I feel like we're maybe done. We're almost done with the MIDI streams because at a certain point I have to like branch this off and make a real project that I can't stream. Not quite there yet, but we're close. So where we ended yesterday, I was having a crisis of confidence, which is common for me when I work on projects. Midi, I know, more life is yours. How are you? I was having a crisis of confidence. I was thinking maybe my plan was a bad idea, that I should have stuck with the web browser, on and on. It was just heartbreaking. We messed with FluidSynth a little bit, but Windows is... I don't enjoy developing on Windows. Let's just leave it at that. However, after the stream, I did get FluidSynth running with those binaries just by downloading a bunch of random DLLs that I hope haven't destroyed my computer. And I think it's all I need. And reading more about FluidSynth, I'm pretty into it. Here's why. So it uses something called a sound font. And it's really, a sound font is just a library of a bunch of samples, but they're all set up appropriately. So kind of like we looked at yesterday, Will. Maybe only have 3 piano samples, but it can automatically pitch the shift to make it sound like I have all the samples. And there are a lot of cool sound fonts, but also it's pretty easy to... So it's like a fully controllable MIDI thing, so you can change those samples on the fly. You can control various other things like the mod wheel, the pitch wheel, sustain pedal, all of those things that you would control with hardware, which is cool. You can also pretty easily author sound fonts, it looks like. I played with that, I think the app was Polyphony, the Polyphony app, and it seems promising. So I'm going to say for installations that require triggering a large bank of sounds, this feels pretty good. It seems like really optimized. It seems really performant for like huge collections of different sounds. So it feels good. So I think it's what we're going to do. It seems lightweight enough to run on a Raspberry Pi 4. So that is my hope. A Raspberry Pi 4 plugged into an Arduino, doing audio. I will say, with Raspberry Pis in the past, maybe it was a Pi 1, I had trouble with audio quality, especially out via the audio port on the device. It was really bad. I had better luck with audio from HDMI, and I had okay luck with audio from USB adapters, but I think in the end I went with the HDMI thing. Okay, that's an interesting note there. Good to know. Okay. Oh man, Perch just went live. What is Perch doing? We don't care. We care about our stream. This is our stream. We finally have good wallpaper again. Okay, so I hope that what I've said is true and that I actually do have, let me go back here for just a moment, a functioning install of FluidSynth, because I definitely did not go deep on my FluidSynth experimentations at all. Okay, so let's go to the phones. No, let's go over here. Let's go to this desktop. And we will say, it's not doing this one. Oh, PowerShell, don't like you. I prefer to use Bash, but we gotta be in Windows land for this to do MIDI stuff, unless we do really annoying bridging of audio from Windows subsystem for Linux into regular Windows land. So let's go. I think we want to be in here. This tab completion is not serving me well. I think we want Ben. How do I say I want Ben? Like, with this tab completion. That was a guess. It was a good guess, but it was... Yeah, the reason we can't run it is because it doesn't exist. Okay, I was just guessing there. Where is this actually? Downloads. Oh boy, I tried to compile it, but getting that like dev environment going on Windows was just didn't want to deal with it. Did not want to deal with it. FluidSynth.exe. Where did I go wrong? FluidSynth 210 user bin FluidSynth. I have to type exe. What? Okay, let's try it this way. Oh, I said CD. Oh, of course. Okay, we run this. Great. So what we may not have is a sound font to use, unless it's in this library. SF2, here's one. Here's one now. Let's copy a path to this by holding some, copy as path. So let's load this sound font. Okay, we loaded a sound font. So now, hopefully that just magically connected to the right MIDI port. Like magically connected to loop MIDI. I don't know why it would, but I also don't know why it wouldn't. So okay, so let's go into Node. That's not how you type. That's not how you clear a line in PowerShell. I don't know how you clear a line in PowerShell. It's not Control U. Okay, so we've connected to loop MIDI port. We have 2 ports now, somehow. Oh, did you hear that? Okay, we're still doing our weird timing thing, but... So that is us playing scheduled to whatever, the beat. It's not instantaneous. Playing over here. I think we want to be verbose. Can I just type that here? Or I have to like run it? Because I want to, it would be great to see all the messages. But that might be might be a command line only thing. Whew. That's a lot of settings. Oh, see. Okay. How do I change a setting? Set synth.verbose true. It is not a real time. Okay, great. Can I do verbose here? And then can I load that sound font? Okay. So this is what the banks are mapped to. So this is the 10th MIDI channel. It's using bank 128 because the 10th channel is apparently normally reserved for percussion. So if we wanted to, we know that 144 is how we send to bank what? MIDI messages 144. I don't actually like this, that it's a weird prefix to choose the bank, but whatever. I'm sure there's smart reasons for that. Don't question MIDI. Somebody, I searched for MIDI message 144. Why would you return pages that don't have 144? Okay, I just can't remember. So if we wanted bank, sorry, that's channel 1. If we want channel 10, that would be 153. So if instead over here, let's just hard code it for now. It's in control land, right? How do we turn off bank 153? I mean, channel 10. Channel 10 off is a what? Why do you show this? Why do you show the ons and not the offs? I mean, it would just be 9 plus this, right? So it should be 137. So we do that. Now, can we push this? Oh. I feel like I messed up. Oops, maybe we lost our MIDI connection or something. I also like maybe pulled a wire loose. Who can say? Could also be that that bank doesn't have anything at 60. Because that can be a weird thing about these percussive banks. Because if it was 152, we'd still be bank 0, 37, 36. So many. Sorry, lots of project messages going on. Okay, so yeah. So it may just be that, although weirdly, it seems like I should have gotten the message, even if there wasn't something there. So we're getting a note on. So why do I not get a note on? What's wrong with that bank? Maybe it's like 48 or something. We could look at that in that polyphony app. Okay, we are seeing it. We're just not hearing anything. But we are seeing it. We are playing in the bank we want. Yeah, that was 8. That's 9. So can we say like there's something that shows you like all what's in all the banks. Basic channels. I don't think we want channels. We want to know about banks, right? Tune a bank. Print out all the channels. I don't actually know how to see that. I'm going to turn off Microsoft Teams for the moment, just so we don't have a bunch of alerts. Or maybe I can put it in like do not disturb mode or something. Do not disturb. I'll just say that I'm busy. How about that? I also just don't like it when software makes noises. Unless I want it to, you know. Because, yeah, sometimes software should make noises. Okay, what are we doing? Dump tuning? Okay, this doesn't actually matter that much. I'm curious why we don't see anything in that bank. Could be that there's nothing in there. So here's something we do want though. So FluidSynth, there's this person named S. Christian something who has been working on some sort of general MIDI sound font for the last 20 years. I kind of get the impression that some people consider sound fonts to be like a deprecated thing, but I think it's awesome. I'm really into them. Somewhere was a link to where to get some sound fonts. Yes, S. Christian Collins. This one also seemed good, but was a little annoying because I had to extract it from a Debian file. But let's do this one. Let's get the current version. Maybe this will work a little better. Oh no, we having bitrate problems? Is it stupid Probably Backblaze running on my laptop. Why would it choose to do that now? I wish I had a just slightly faster internet connection. Just a touch faster. Okay. Extract. Extract. Let's load this one instead. Let's load this one instead. Where's that ampersand coming from when I just dragged the file in? Whatever. Okay, yeah, same thing. Bank 128 for that guy. What if I need to do something different for these percussive friends? Like, is it not enough to... I guess we can do note on. So if we want a note on channel 9, 60, 127. Okay, we get a little drum. Was 48 just not the thing? No. So that's channel 9, 48, 127. Oh, is it too quiet? Because we turned the audio down because it was hurting Life Is Yours delicate ears. Yes. Is that super loud? Life Is Yours, is that hurting your precious ears? Let's do it half volume. Gotta have a little velocity. Okay. Okay, that sounds okay. Good. Maybe there is some volume setting I don't have to mess with the velocity, because I think in some cases, well, I'm pretty sure in some cases the velocity will not just be the volume, it'll affect the character of the sound. So, okay, this feels pretty good. Let's now figure out trying to figure out if we wanted to send like raw MIDI messages from our web console. So if I wanted to do something like, these won't even have digital pens. Maybe we make raw MIDI buttons. And this will be... So this is tricky. It's going to be like... I think I need to select the bank within a channel, right? Is that what I was supposed to select? You select the bank and then you select the program. I'm a little confused about the distinction there. But program change says the channel and then the number. So let's do like program 0, program 1. So from a MIDI standpoint, this probably looks like it's probably an array. That's not ideal, right? That's how these other messages are. Yeah, that's a little annoying. Shoot. I don't want to like eval that. How would I want to encode? There's like some standard way to have an array in a... Yeah, stick an array in there. Guess I could make a JSON. Okay, just call it an array. I don't know. Let's see. Let's just make this up. So let's say, we need a Midi program change message. I already lost my Midi. Midi message. We need to just find like some definitive Midi thing that is not too hard to understand. Like, I don't want to go too low level with it, but oh, so that would be Midi channel 1, so it'd be like 192.15. Interesting. So the program changes. I see. Okay, so if we said we wanted 192, that was channel, that's the first channel. So we would say 192.15, whatever that is, and 192.25, whatever that is. Okay, so now we need to do make some raw MIDI buttons. We gotta do kind of all this same thing again. Oh, so much redundant code. And this can just be a click. Okay, so we're gonna say, when this happens, there'll be a raw MIDI, and the value will be why would you capitalize that? Because I'm pretty sure it's not supposed to be capitalized. Okay, that will be this, and okay. Let me make that 3,000. Of course. What are you thinking? Okay. Those look good, and then we're gonna emit a raw MIDI. So over here in our web console, we need to care about that. We said the event is capital M, right? Oh, this is weird. It really should be that, right? Oops. Oh, case problems. Got some serious case problems, but I think that's what we want. Okay, and then we're gonna get a raw MIDI event, and then over here, we're gonna say, hey, there's a raw MIDI event. And we're gonna call this, and inside here, we're gonna say, hey, raw MIDI data. Okay, and we're gonna go over here, gonna push our button, and it's not gonna work. Why didn't it work? Probably forgot some key thing. Okay. We are emitting a raw MIDI event. Feel good about that. In our web console, we are listening to a raw MIDI event. We feel good about that. In an index, we're routing. We are missing a capital I, missing a capital I. Okay, there's our raw MIDI events. And we need to say like data dot value. This is a JSON parse. And hopefully this comes out as an actual array. Appears to, okay. And then now we are gonna send that message. And so now when we push our web button, should go through this silly route and get into FluidSynth, hopefully. Yes. So oh, but we're not playing to, we need to playing to the wrong channel. We need to be playing on channel, what was it? 144 or 128? What is this? Some cool sound. Okay. So now we're able to pick different audio, and that's handy. Pick different programs. Whatever those patches are, there's probably some way to list that inside FluidSynth, or we could get, let's just get that Polyphony app. Or program. Oh, I can't believe I just did that. Using the word apps instead of programs. It's like using the word coder instead of programmer. That doesn't seem right. Software. Ugh, what the heck is it called? Is that not the right name? Applications? Oh, it's in the sound font editors section. Polyphone. 164, hey. Just thinking, we could also do the inverse of all of this, of course, where right now we're taking arbitrary hardware data, turning it into MIDI messages, and then sending it to MIDI software that understands MIDI. No, keep it. How could it harm my device? It's fine. I don't think it will harm my device. Why are you downloading this again? Keep it. Let's keep it anyway. Okay, thank you for your concern. I'm gonna just say that this open source sound font editor, it's understandable that it's not commonly downloaded. I think we're okay. I think it's okay. Okay, so let's open that. Ooh, daily sound fonts, Tubular Bells. Cool. Let's open the one we downloaded before, though. Okay, so this is our whole jam. This thing should understand. Can I not play this from MIDI? Like, setting. Like if I wanted, oh, fancy. So fancy. Virtual keyboard, cool. Okay, but I don't see something that says, oh, MIDI input. Listen here. So now it's probably actually playing in both places, I would assume. So like if I stopped this, no, it's not working. Why is that? This is how these things are set up. So these are all the samples. So this is like just all the audio samples, right? Then you have to set up an instrument that describes how those samples are used. Like we go back to samples, we saw like all these accordion samples. So we got a couple octaves of accordion, but we only have the A, the D, and the F sharp, or A sharp, D, and F sharp. So then if we go to instrument and we look at accordion, there's two for some reason, but you can see, so these are those samples, but then you're saying the key range to use for those samples, which is cool. And none of these are looping, and like, here's the root key that you want this to start at. So this will play, well, really this goes all the way down. So this just gets tuned lower and lower and lower, probably lower than you could ever have on an accordion. So that's probably why. Same thing for higher, way up here, probably goes too high. So the root key is 62. So that's this A sharp. That doesn't seem right. Well, maybe accordions are tuned differently than pianos. So it can play one note below and two notes above what you give it. So it will play the A and the F and the C, it seems. This will play the C sharp, D flat, etc., etc. So that's pretty cool. I don't think I would want to deal with that. Except maybe I'll try it to make a sampler. So actually, let's look at the, there's got to be some kind of just drum. Drum sampler that's only going to play. Well, we can find this out. So let's go look at the presets and let's look what was in bank 128. So that's where drums are. So that's where these drums are. So these samples are just there, and then they seem to not have any presets except for, oh, because there's some sine waves in here. Okay, I see. So it doesn't look too hard to set that up because it looks like most of the stuff is just defaults. Let's go back and see what else was in bank 128. So these are all these drums. So here's like standard drums, 128.0. So when we look in here, so there's a little bit of attenuation to make it a little quieter. I don't know if this filter cutoff means that, I don't know if this is a time in seconds. That would be kind of my guess, but I don't actually know that. But it looks like there's a fair number of those. 0.1 seconds would be a really short amount of time. So there's changes to the envelopes, there's changes to the decay. But none of that looks super complicated. It looks like really at the beginning. Oh, you can also pan stuff left and right. So record scratches look like they're panned a bit to the left, which is funny. Can I trigger these and just hear them? Beautiful, but I would actually like to trigger it inside the preset. Or inside the instrument at least. I guess to do that I would have to use this virtual keyboard. Yeah, okay, so what did we have? It was called standard, with those drums. Oops, those are the instruments. I want the standard preset, right? Wish it would show these, like show these get triggered. That's probably really loud, huh? I'm sorry. This one's not turned down. Oh no. I'm sorry. Is that outrageously loud? How do you say... Okay, so those seem like they're not used? These don't have a key range. So how does it work if there's no key range? These all have a key range. Huh. I might have like a little learning to do to make a sound font happen. Like to play just one sound, you've got one key and it's key 36. Like this one takes key 35, so I have to switch to 6 octaves here, to 88 keys. Yeah, it's only this key. But those are all the same. Oh, okay, I see. Those are the velocity ranges. So depending on how hard I hit that key, so if I do up here, it's playing the really low velocity version. And down here it's playing the high velocity. I see, that's cool. Starship. Okay. So some of these really take pretty have few. There's a nice babbling stream. Babbling brook. Kind of makes me need to use the bathroom. So we have root note, which is 60, and then everything else is just tuned. So it seems hopefully pretty easy to make kind of a soundboard sort of thing if you want to use this system to trigger a soundboard. That's a good sound. It's good. It's good quality for like a pretty small package. This package was under 100 meg. This package was like 30 meg. I think these are all waves. So the duration is like a tricky thing that we haven't really solved because MIDI doesn't have a duration. And if we want to do these triggers, right now we're just making up a duration, right? Like our duration is just 50 milliseconds. So we could say 1 second for our durations. A nice tuba. I like the tuba. Nice tubular bells. Love a vibraphone. We have a glockenspiel here. Perhaps my favorite instrument. I think vibraphone. Nice low vibes. Let's take this back up to 60. I think that's middle C, right? Is that C1? I don't know. Yeah, I feel good about this approach because there's some like are just instantly using this general MIDI sound font, which I think sounds nice. We have a ton of variety, which is very promising. Very, very promising indeed. We even have machine guns. We got mandolins. We got a malimba. I do like marimba. Great. We gotta hook this into heat somehow. Let's turn back on our ridiculous analog input. Or we didn't even really make that work in this new system, did we? Yeah, we were just logging it. So what did we want to happen when we got analog input? Did we delete all our analog code? This could be like our MIDI woodblock. So that would be channel. Like if we wanted a metronome, we have to figure out where that is. But if like on our quarter note, we could just do off. I'm not crazy about our off strategy. That part is bothering me a little bit. Also didn't need velocity here. I just, maybe we need our concept of a note and it will know how to, I don't know. I mean, we don't want to do this every time, of course. Like we want to tidy this up in some way. Okay, so we said that was 9 more than this, so 153, and 9 more than this, so 137. And the note we want to play is, we don't know. I don't know. I think we did that wrong. That doesn't seem like anything that's correct. Oh, it's because we need to be on that standard guy, which is over somewhere, not there. It's actually a preset. It's a preset. Is it? Wait, why is it 128? Because the default's 128. Yeah. Okay. So what are we hitting? C 60. I don't understand how this works. I mean, if you don't... Like, why is record scratch down there? I don't understand here. The mapping is very confusing to me. Record scratch, like how do I know? Oh, 2930, it's defined here. So that's 29 and okay, so if I did want a wood block, it's kind of weird how this is defined. Not crazy about that. Maybe that's just something about that, how this particular... So like, to me, it looks like 77. We're hitting 60. I just don't know what that means here. It's like just something from the standard kit. So those are different velocity ranges for a wood block. If I said 76, five, 6, 6, 7, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76. Okay, so if I said 76, okay, so now this actually is another thing we need to mess with, is our metronome control. Because right now, our BPM is fixed. Like I could change this to 120 and we would tick twice as fast. Kind of want it to alternate though. That'd be sort of funny if it was tick tock, tick tock, tick. Because it seemed like we had alternating. Where was that? We could just alternate between 66 and 67. So we do need some kind of like channel, note, and duration, right? And I don't want to operate in this like 153 land and all of that. Note is fine because that makes sense to me, but I think I'm just going to build in my own offsets. So when we trigger a note, it needs to look like this. That's probably fine. And that's a duration in milliseconds. And channel note velocity. Can you have default values in JavaScript, where you make it like optional. Like duration equals 500, like default to those. I think you can, but I don't actually know. So this will be 144 plus the channel, and this will be 128 plus the channel. Although, that's if we count channels from 0, but often things count from channel 1. But let's just not worry about that for now. This will be the velocity. So that's the duration. So by default, it'll be, let's say by default it hits at half velocity and for half a second. So now I could change this little wood block to a play note. Channel 0, note, what did I say, 76? Velocity and duration, we could just leave. Right? So something like that. Yeah. Okay, and then, you know, we do the same thing for something like this. We would do a play note, channel 0, current note. And for now, we'll just leave those. I mean, eventually we'd probably say the duration and the... So we should hear a... Yeah. So now this will do... Yeah, because we're timing to the beats. Okay, it would be kind of cool to play an individual note with panning, but I don't think you can do that. I think the only way to pan would be to have two different channels. But I think that's fine, and I think that's okay, because generally I will have enough channels to do things, I think. Okay, so one thing we did want to figure out was like how to quantize two different beats, like what that looks like. And so it's like mod 8. Yeah. I'm kind of comfortable saying that our whole system is always based on 30-second notes, but I guess we could go down to 64ths if we really wanted to. It would be the same. It would just be these divisions would change. Okay, so I want to be able to change the tempo in real time. And I guess... Oh no, didn't we find a document that we liked? Yeah, this. Is there anything in here for tempo? Oops. Like a MIDI set tempo meta message. So meta message, MIDI meta messages. Oh. MIDI clock. I don't know, we're not going to do MIDI clock. It's just a question for the web interface if I'm going to like what I want that to look like. Actually, it's going to be a sensor. So if there's a sensor, we should do it with a sensor, not with MIDI. So that would be an analog input if it's a knob, or an encoder input. Okay, I need to take a short break. So I will be back in a moment. Excuse me, please. I left the metronome ticking that whole time. It was probably kind of annoying. Sorry about that. Okay, what were we even doing? Do I have important messages over here? Okay. So we want to do what? Let's just make a little tempo control. So we do have our analog friend. So one thing we can do is this. Yeah, we'll do set tempo. So what is our analog value? Would be 0 to 128, right? So we do need some kind of remap because we're going to probably use that all the time. I'm sure there's some node remap library, but kind of don't want to include a whole library. Wait, didn't we write a remap? Didn't we just write that for something? Was that for the QR code project? Why did we I feel like I just wrote a remap plugin. Or like function. Whatever. Let's just write it. Sure, we're going to use this a million times. We should put it in some kind of like utility class. We decided you can have static methods on JavaScript classes. Static, yeah. Okay, so we could make like a little utility class with some static methods. But not consts, right? You can have static fields. Public static fields. Oh, you can. Okay, so we can make a little utility class that has all the stuff we want. Okay. So that'll do. That'll do. We might stick this in like some core control panel class or something. I don't know. Okay. Or control class, or yeah, I don't know. So we need what? Value minus n min divided by n max minus n min. So value minus the input minimum. Yeah, that'll give us a normalized value. And then now we need return will just be out max minus out min times the normalized value. I've written this so many times. Why isn't this just like in languages already? Minus the min times the normalized value plus the min. So it's just like the reverse operation, sort of. Oops. We could cram this in here, I guess, if we wanted to. Okay, so we want to, when we get analog input, we want to value And it's going to be between 0 and 127, and we want to remap it to 60 to 120. I will turn off the metronome. Yes. Where is the metronome? This. Okay, sorry. Okay. Something broken? Yes. The thing that is broken is remap. Just because this dot remap. Of course. Where are you? Okay. Does this actually work? No. Something is definitely wrong. We can remap 0 to 483. So I did good job. Just make sure the input is actually what I think it is. Wait. Oh, can I go to 1024? This just has high resolution, I thought. I thought it was 127 for some reason, but it's 1024. Okay. So the max of this is 1024. Well, it's really 1023, right? Yeah. Okay. I definitely messed up my... Oh, did I not add to the in min at the end? Oh, that's supposed to be the out min. Sorry, out min. Okay. So now we can have a BPM from 60 to 120, but we need to actually set that BPM, of course. So and when we change the BPM, we actually have to change the BPM and the interval. So we'd say like I'm going to rename this to a new BPM, so it's a little less confusing. Change the interval, turn the metronome back on. Sorry. Okay. So that's 60 BPM. What did I do wrong? I didn't actually call the set BPM function. Okay. Okay. We can now change our BPM. So if we wanted to write like a really simple little melody generator, like dead simple little random melody generator, let's do that, and then maybe we'll call it for today. it would be, if we wanted to play on our eighth notes, I was looking for scheduled notes, but like, and we could say like, let notes equal, and we could say -1 is a rest, so we can occasionally have rests. We'll have 60, so that's C, D, E, 60, 61, 62, 64, 65, 67. No, it's a melody, so let's just do scale. So 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71. So that's just like a C major scale. Yeah. And then that random note equal forgot. I was gonna write it the Unity way, but that's not how it works. It's gotta be like random. Between 0 and 100, is that including 10? Okay, so that gives us a random note, and then let's play that note with just our default note settings. Maybe this will work. Okay, let's go back to, let's do FluidSynth instead. Let's load that. Let's turn off polyphone, because we were playing MIDI there. Why are we getting scheduled notes? Where are those coming from? Oh, it's the metronome. So that would need to be channel 9, right? Okay, let me pause this music. Oh, I also said if there's a -1. Why does it seem like the random... Okay. Turn off the BPM for a moment. Or at least the logging of it. Okay, yeah, we got one there. Okay, so melody, and now we should be able to speed it up. Okay. Let's play it instead of on... That's on the quarter note. Let's play eighth notes just to see. Why did that 4 kind of get cut off? Okay. Okay, and then if we go over here and push our program buttons, we'll end up with whatever those other programs were. Oh. And now just relax. Just relax. Are you still there? Life is yours? Did you go to sleep? You gone? Long gone? You probably got tired of the metronome. I don't blame you. Don't blame you at all. Okay, so we've got like very simple generative music going. Oh, you're present. Hi. I wrote this song for you. It's called The Life Is Yours, Part 2. In C major. You want to hear the sad version? It's called The Life Is Yours Part 2 in C minor, which would be 63? Is that right? C, D, E, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64 would be 63, yeah. It's so sad. Part 1? Part 1 was lost, unfortunately. Part 1 was lost. It was never... I'm tuning the BPM. Chaos like your emotions. Oh no. I have 127 followers right now. It's a nice 7-bit number, right? Isn't that 7 bits? 0, 2, 4, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, 128, yeah. Kind of better with a guitar, wasn't it? I don't know how to do that. I mean, I know how to do it, but I also don't know how to do it. Let's add a new raw MIDI button. That just resets it to 0. There we go. Okay. I feel like this is going to be pretty cool, and I feel like this is going to be insanely performant and hopefully very reliable. This FluidSynth seems like it's used a lot of places, so I'm kind of placing a lot of faith in it, but I have more faith in it than what I've done in the past, which is like a random Python script badly triggering sounds. So, and I may have less faith in it than in pure data, but it seems way easier to deal with than pure data. Much lighter weight than using a real, like whatever, Logic or Ableton or whatever. So I think it's pretty good. And now we can control things. We could add a little analog control to our web interface if we wanted. If we wanted, if we felt like it. I have a problem though. So the thing I'm working on has a ton of inputs, and I've been trying to, hey, electrical engineer. Maybe this isn't really a question for you. You're an electrician, not an electrical engineer. Here's my problem. So I want to use a bunch of encoders, and the encoder library from Teensy says, hey, you can use, this runs really well, best performance if you have it on interrupt pins. So you need 2 interrupt pins. You don't have to have them. You can have kind of low performance on non-interrupt pins, and maybe that's okay. An Arduino Uno only has 2 interrupt pins, so you can really only run encoder. Leonardo, you can only, at best performance. I mean, that's kind of true for everything except for the Dua. The Arduino Dua, all of the digital pins are have interrupts, and that's pretty awesome. And there's also 50 of them. I forgot. There's like 54 inputs or something insane. I like Duas. The thing that I worry about with a Dua is that it's 3.5 volt. And I could like step that up and down, but man, it would be way easier to just like say, like set a voltage. And often you have multiple voltages in a project. It might be like, okay, I need 12 volts for all the LEDs, but I need 5 volts for all these sensors and components, and that's okay. The problem is when you have something like your microcontroller and it really wants a particular voltage, but you have to talk to things that want another voltage. And there's ways to deal with that, but it's a little bit annoying. So I don't exactly know what I want to do about that. Because the encoders want 5 volts up to whatever, some high number, but 5 is kind of the low end. Buttons don't care because they're just going to be high-low. I have various other like sensors, but they probably will work with 3.3 volts, maybe 5. So really maybe it's the encoders that are the problem. So I could use multiple Arduinos. I could use an Arduino Mega, which has tons of inputs, which is great, but doesn't have all the interrupts, but maybe that's fine. Like say I want, there's only 6 interrupt pins. So that would be 3 at best performance, or, I could have good performance if only 1 was on the interrupt pin on 6 of my encoders. But then you look up here and you start looking up at the teensies and you start having ideas about like, what could you do with these teensies? Gets a little weird. I have a lot of inputs. I got a whole lot of inputs. Teensy 4s are freaking fast. they have 40 digital inputs, and they're all interrupt capable with 3 Rs. That's how capable they are. But you can only really easily access a subset of those. So like the easy to access one with like these through hole solderable pins, you get looks like 23, which is not bad. But the project I'm working on potentially has a lot more than that. So I could say that like different systems there'll be 2 teensies, and 1 teensy is going to be just for the encoders. Oh, also I should mention that the other thing about a teensy is that it is also 3.3 volts, but somewhere, where is it? Is there a 5-volt out? Maybe that's not true on the Teensy 4. The Teensy 3.6. Man, I saw it earlier. That told me important numbers about that cute little teensy. Somewhere told me, man, look at that teensy 3.6 though. Am I losing my mind? I swear I saw something that was like teensy, but you could have 5 volts. So okay, 3.2. This says a 3.2. There's 5 volt tolerance. So we go back to the Teensy 3.2. And it's cute and it's little and charming. It also has a whole bunch of pens that are not easy to get to. I don't understand what's different about it though. Like what's better? Okay, where was the thing that said the thing? So it was Teensy 3.1. I didn't even show that anymore. Why is there not pen info? Website? Does 3.5 have that? Okay, this says all digital pins are 5 volt tolerant. So that's cool. But that says that's not true for a Teensy 6. That's a faster processor, but you don't have that. Man, they sure look really similar. So all digital pins are 5 volt tolerant. You got a whole heck of a lot of pins out there. Are they all interruptible? Where's the normal music? Turn the normal music back. On a Teensy, all digital pins. Okay, so that seems pretty cool. But this is just not, these are not tolerant. It's a little confusing to know, like, what's Could this be the answer to all my prayers? That seems pretty cool. That's a teensy 3.5, huh? I wish that there was better information, though. This is not adequate. This is not adequate information. Looks like a lot of pins, though. That's a teensy plus plus. Okay. That looks like a teensy plus plus. So that is a whole lot of analog, and that's a whole lot of digital. Presumably, we wouldn't be able to use all the digital, but and it says they're 5-volt tolerant, but why is there not a 5-volt pen? Doesn't it seem like there should be a 5-volt pen? Oh, that's a VN. I wonder if you can access VN when you have USB plugged in. To use USB power with external power, the power provided by the USB cable should be separated from the external power. That's not super convenient. You basically have to separately power, which I guess that's okay. Are those separate options? Wait. I mean, I guess that's okay. I mean, assuming the Teensy 5 has that. And I definitely feel confident, like we feel like it's definitely true that the Teensy 3.5, yeah, all pins are 5-volt tolerant. So it runs at 3.3, but it's 5 volts tolerant. So I'd need some sort of 5-volt power supply. I mean, there's also a possibility it just doesn't matter. And I could just use the Mega, and those interrupt pins aren't actually that important. One of the nice things about using the Mega is then I can use a... I can't type. Like one of these ridiculous breakout boards for a Mega, so it's easy to screw in a million little wires. Maybe. So fancy. Oh, that's cool. It mounts face down. Interesting. Yeah, use the Mega. Oof, delivery is not so hot. So it's kind of an annoying problem is like, what's the right solution to... So I could do a custom PCB. I don't really want to, but I could. I could put that Teensy in a custom PCB, supply it with 5 volts. Okay, I don't know. More things to think about. This wasn't supposed to be a hardware stream. Turned into one accidentally, but we made some progress today. We got Midi working with our synth. Yes. I gotta get some stuff though. I don't have stuff here. I need a Raspberry Pi 4, maybe some kind of microcontroller that isn't this Arduino Uno. It's hard to work without a shop, turns out. Okay, but thank you for joining me. I know it was a little short. Maybe I'll stream again later today. Maybe we'll do some more Sudoku and chill, or some more Animal Crossing. I don't know. All right. Thanks for joining me, and have a lovely day, and we'll talk soon.